What's going on, good people of Cherokee County? Big Matt and Diamond Dean is on the horn here with me. Hope everybody's doing having a good day. Dean, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. I'm up in the Bluegrass State. I come up here to, I'm a jockey now, and I rode in the Kentucky Derby, so practicing for it. And we do it all. You know, people don't realize what all we do.
Hey,
I don't think. Do you?
no, probably not. What's
No, I'm just visiting family up here.
Yeah, what I seen where you had some pictures where you'd went off and went to the. Tell me about the prison scene up there. What was the Shawshank?
Well, I went to Canton, and you know, it was all right, you know, but it's just pretty basic, you know. We've been to the Hall of Fame before. You can't spend more than 2 hours in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's just, you know, there just ain't enough in there.
Right.
To do anything, but it was pretty awesome. But on the way back, I kept seeing this sign about Shawshank, relive the Shawshank experience.
Yeah.
So I just typed it in on Google Maps, and man, it's like 30 minutes away. And, dude, it was the actual prison where they filmed it, and that was pretty awesome.
Huh.
Yeah, and that film Tango and Cash too. You remember that class?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it was pretty neat, man. I went in the office where the warden killed himself, you know, and they had everything there except Andy's cell, you know, where he escaped from.
Right.
They didn't have that.
Right.
But man, it was an old prison, you know. It really was an old prison, and they let you walk through. And I'll show you some pictures of it, show you how small the rooms were. And it was pretty neat. That was actually. It's good. And also went by Ohio State University, walked around the stadium, took some pictures of that. It's pretty awesome there.
Yeah, what does it hold up there? Is it 100 and 110 or?
I think it's 100. It's not as big as Michigan. I'll have to look on that. It looked like it was pretty big. Of course, we couldn't get in. But,
oh yeah, they ain't gonna let nobody in do nothing right now.
No. But I mean, I got to walk around and take pictures, obviously, and they didn't nobody say a word like, "What are you doing?" or "Why are you up here?" or anything. It was pretty neat, and you know, they got some. It's a nice stadium. I don't know that it's any nicer than the ones we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say it's nicer than Auburn's or Alabama's, but it's pretty nice. I mean, it's a lot of history up there with Ohio State. You know.
Well, they got plenty of money to spend up there. We're going to talk a little bit about college football tonight.
Yeah.
Well, first let's do this though. We gotta pay the bills right here. We always want to thank our sponsors, JR and April McKenzie at Turkey Eye Clinic. It's always good to have them on. They're a big part of the show. Love to give and help the community. Warrior Jim been with us since day one. Jonathan Kim, go see them for a membership. And of course, Kevin Delon Landscaping, talked to him the other day. He's about 3 months behind Dean. And yes, Kevin is. And Lloyd's Legal Service, of course, Scott. We want to thank him, of course, for hanging on there with us and being part of the community and helping out. But so we want to thank our sponsors, of course. And tonight we're going to talk about Coach K's retiring. Dean, what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's pretty.
What's going to happen with college basketball? What's going to go on now?
I don't know. What year was you born?
77.
Okay, he was the coach at Army when you were born.
Yeah.
Head coach, and then I think he come to Duke in '80. But 46 years or 47.
Yeah.
Barry Rice, he's a big Duke fan. He can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but nearly 1,100 wins, 4 championships, only 300 losses. Yeah, it's gonna be. I wouldn't want to follow him. I'm going to tell you that. Now, my understanding is he's going to go one more year, right?
Right, yeah. He's going to finish. He's going to go ahead and coach this year because they got the young guy that's been helping him. What's his name?
I can't remember who his helper is.
He's going to take it over, and from what I've read on an article or something, people seem like they're fine with. Yeah, they're. I heard a lot of backlash about him taking the job, so. Good luck to them, and I'm sure Duke they'll probably be somewhere in there in the final 8. I'm sure, probably, but like they always are,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think they fall off too much. I reckon him and old guy at Syracuse have been, before you were born and when I'm still staying in daycare, Matt and Todd. There wasn't even no Matt. There wasn't even the other half of it. They were the head coaches. That's just hard to imagine, hard to fathom.
Yeah, it really is.
I think somebody being coached somewhere for 46 years.
To dedicate your time to really to anything in general for that long a time, that's worth to stand up and applaud the guy for that. So
I can't talk to him about it. I'm in Kentucky. He's not a fan favorite up here.
Now you may get shot. Somebody may snipe you through the window up there.
Yeah, I don't want nobody to. But I'm not around anybody. But no, he's not a fan favorite up here. But that still don't mean he's not any good. That's just because of the rivalry. And
now, what about today was D-Day, so we always want to
yes, D-Day.
Give honor to all our veterans. Probably a lot of them's not left anymore. They'd probably be 100 years old if they was. So.
My uncle was looking at that last night, and I don't know. Seems like he said 300 maybe.
Wow.
300 of those guys left.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
And they're getting close to 100. So within the next 5 years, they're all going to be gone.
Yeah, I want to see. Let me check on something right here.
I think he said there was something like 325 left. So I don't know any personally. Your granddad fought in
Yeah, he was
World War II.
Yeah, he was World War II in Korea.
He fought in Europe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on either side, Europe or Japan.
No, yeah, he drove a tank. He went to Africa first when they sent him over there.
But now, what my understanding was, the guys parachuted in first at night.
Yeah.
Over Normandy, and then of course the boats come in the next day, which I saw.
Well, actually, now that's true. I found out some stuff later that he was there 3 days before. He was on the island, on the English island.
Oh, okay.
They come 3 days before with tanks and half tracks and that kind of stuff to set up. Yeah, so he actually come across before. He actually come across like on the 4th, I think, June the 4th. And then Uncle, I didn't know that.
I would have rather done that than go in by parachute on the 6th.
Yeah.
With them shooting up at me.
I know. See, Uncle Pap, he was 101st Airborne, and he was in that group there. Yeah, he got to jump out. And,
so he had to jump out at night.
Yes. I'm trying to get a score on the girls' softball here. Alabama's.
Still late.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it was, and that was 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Them in Florida State.
Right, Alabama girls right now, guys. They're playing really well. Well, of course, I guess most people have been watching. They know they're at the College World Series. The Fouts, the young lady pitcher there, pitched no-hitter the other day against UCLA. Let's see. Bama girls win in Oklahoma City. Beat Arizona 5-1. Beat UCLA 6-0. And as we're speaking of right now, the pitcher I got up there, that's the Fouts girl. She's the one that pitched the no-hitter. What a great talent she is, and good luck to the girls.
She's from up here.
Oh, is she?
I mean, she's from Kentucky. Not this town.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but somewhere in Kentucky.
That's pretty
My
amazing.
uncle had me going, told me she was from right down the road here, but she wasn't. She's not from right down the road. But she is from the state of Kentucky.
Well, what about this now? We put this off too long. We got to say something. We just popped over a picture there of Julio Jones. What do you guys think about? I mean, Julio's going to the Titans.
I'm just kind of shocked by it. I mean, I know the Falcons didn't win, but dang, and I know Matt Ryan's not a particularly what I would call a fan favorite anymore, but dang, he got the ball to him. And I'm not saying Tannehill won't.
Yeah.
But Tannehill's not one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. And you got Derrick Henry up there too. I mean, he's going to be their main focus.
Yeah.
I just don't see where.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to change. I don't necessarily. It don't appear to me that he wasn't getting the ball enough or whatever. I just think he just wanted to change. Because he's not going to get the ball anymore for Tennessee than he did for Atlanta, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. What do y'all guys think? Y'all watching live here. Again, we appreciate everybody taking some time out of their Sunday. I got Dean here on the phone. He's upstate. He's in on the Marsh Islands right now on a vacation on his $1 million yacht. I went out yesterday and I brought the steaks and lobster out to him.
People for the show, huh?
Yeah, I went up yesterday with a steak and lobster. So Dean's up there on the $1 million yacht. He's hanging out with some high influential people. We're getting the show off the ground. We appreciate him for that.
Oh yeah, we are. I mean, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia. I'll be at Neyland Stadium tomorrow. So.
That's right.
I will. I really will go right by there. So I might get some snapshots, and you can put them on the show page.
Yeah. Okay.
We have Ohio State Stadium and Tennessee Stadium.
What about?
Oh, and I know this didn't have anything to do with what we were going to talk about tonight, but the Tennessee fans around here aren't real excited about their.
Yeah, we can talk about that. They've lost some players. The Terrick guy that Tinnick
Just coming up.
went to
Alabama?
Georgia. Went to Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's loaded. I got a big spiel for that later too. We can get into that, but Tennessee's got a lot of transfers come out. Oklahoma has picked up one. Alabama's got some. So, what's the feeling up there when you?
Carolina got one. Oklahoma got the other. Right?
Yeah. So, what's the feeling up there at that floppy top? How are they? They're not excited, are they?
No. Just starting over. Just completely starting over. I mean, I think they're going to be better on offense, but I reckon Heupel is a pretty good offensive play caller, but that's about it. They just don't seem. They don't seem real thrilled.
Yeah,
real thrilled about what's taking place.
It's just a big mess. Let's see. Let me look at something.
I just thought I'd add that. I actually talked to one yesterday, and he wasn't real. He was kind of put out with their fans. He's like, this all happens because we want rid of Fulmer so bad. And he goes, we can't find nobody who can touch Fulmer now.
I know.
Well, it's good.
It's going to be hard to replace, a guy that was there such a long period of time. We went through this. If we want to talk about a little local something, with Jonathan, when a coach is at an area for a long time, it's hard to replace a coach that's been there for a long period of time, especially if he was, pretty successful, for the most part.
Yeah.
Tennessee's going to have a lot of stuff going on. Let me get this out of the way, Dean. Did you see the thing about Zach Pirine on the Elite 11 finals? We had put that up the other day. That's pretty interesting. We watched him play, all around the state. And what do you think about that?
I got to say, I was wrong about him. When I heard that he transferred, I'm like, what is this kid doing? Because, we didn't know that he could throw. And obviously, he's just made a name for himself. It kind of shows how unselfish he was playing for Fife as long as he did. I mean, this guy can throw it around, and he literally wasn't throwing any at Fife. Really, not much.
Well, that's just not part of the. That's not part of the plan up there necessarily. They're going to run the football.
He was okay with that. I always heard he went to a camp.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, dude, you gotta, nothing about where you're playing.
Yeah.
It don't fit you,
That's what it was. It wasn't nothing personal. I think they all left on speaking terms, and it turned out good for both, obviously, right? I mean, they both went up winning state anyway, so congratulations congrats to him, Mr. Pirine, for making that Elite 11 final. That's a pretty big deal, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I hope he does good. See, he was what's his name's quarterback? What's his dang name? Kool-Aid's quarterback.
Yes, right. McKinstry, yeah.
He's had an interesting career.
Oh, yeah.
He used to rush for a bunch of yards for Fife, him and Rowell.
Yeah.
They were the main two backs.
Yeah.
And then he goes and has to be a throwing quarterback for Pinson Valley and wins one there. So he's a winner. There's no doubt about that.
No, can't take that away from him. Let me ask you this one too, and everybody watching and listening. the USFL has come back. Fox Sports is going to pick that up spring of next year. What do y'all think about it? I mean, I ain't never seen it work. It just never has. Maybe it will this time, but it just seems like it's never really. It just never really worked.
It was the only one that really did. Was it not?
Yeah.
I mean, it halfway worked.
Well, the XFL, we covered it back when we first started the show. We covered it a little bit. We would pick out the SEC players and talk about them and how they performed. Now, back in '83, you had Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly, Reggie White, Doug Flutie, and you had coaches like Corso and Spurrier coaching these guys. So those are some names, to be thrown around this old USFL.
Yeah, some big-time players playing.
I don't know what to expect. Somebody's got some money.
I don't see anybody leaving the NFL, to go play in it like they used to. And I think Walker had come back, or somebody had said that was one of those huge mistakes by Herschel Walker.
I think so, too.
He did well. I mean, he did very well in the league.
I've only assumed it, Dean, by this, that USFL, you're going to get some guys that coming out of college, and college ball is so big now that it's way different now than it was in 1983. Like this IMG academies, they're, these places are just crazy huge. They play crazy schedules. Some of these high schools are like small colleges now. I'm going to say that maybe with that being said, maybe this allows some of the 3-star players that don't, that maybe don't get picked up by the Power 5 schools. Maybe this gives them, once they go play a little college, maybe it gives them somewhere to go if they can't get picked up by the Raiders or the Bills or the Chiefs. If you're not from Alabama, if you're not from Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma, it's hard to be a first-round pick. It's just how it is. So
there's not many outside of them. Most of the draft picks, not all of them, but most of them are from Power 5 schools. I can't think of anybody offhand. When was the last time I met? Well, there's been some.
Yeah, it happens.
Ray Rice, I think he was real good. He didn't play at a big school.
Yeah.
Thompson, he played at TCU, never mind. That's a Power 5. There's been several, but not a high percentage, though, really.
Yeah, maybe this will be a way for some of those guys to, go play and get paid a little bit, and I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. We'll watch it. Anything with football, with something throwing the ball around, we're going to watch it anyway. So.
We watch cricket or anything.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Here's the question of the night. Well, we ain't even 20 minutes in, and I'll what about Georgia?
Well, Georgia.
Yeah.
Man, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about it. Have they gotten some transfers in? I know they got everybody back on offense. I didn't see where they had anybody back on defense much.
Yeah, I wonder.
And you may have a quarterback controversy. I really don't know. In my poll, I'm talking about just, my own personal poll, I got them ranked number 5.
Yeah.
But I don't see that. They've done that several times. I don't see them being good enough to win. I guess it just depends on Daniels. I don't know. I hate to put that kind of pressure on him, but seeing Pickens is out too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. Well, let's see. Senior running backs, you got Cook, and then, of course, Edwards and White are there. Inside linebackers, Walker, and you have other linebackers. The Dean kid, he's really good. Anderson, he's a senior out of Rome, Georgia. Now you got McIntosh and Milton running the ball also. They got some guys back. Receivers, Jackson and Mitchell. Burton, now their tight end play.
And Burton got too, right?
Yeah.
Or Trey, it might not be Burton. Jackson's who I'm thinking about.
They're
He's
good.
Pretty good.
Now their tight end spot. They're going to be able to run the ball in this tight end spot, like Washington and Fitzpatrick. Their tight ends there at Georgia. They're high level football players. I think they can run the ball with power. You got Slayer, Schaefer, McClendon up on the front offensive line. You got nose tackles and stuff like Davis and White. And then you got Smith, had 26 tackles last year. And then you got Chin, Cine, made over 20 tackles last year. Got to play back safety. They're going to be kind of younger in some defensive spots. But, from what I've heard and watched, and, we watch 24/7 Sports, the guy that does the show there, Josh Pate. And,
he's good.
And what he says is usually this guy does what we piddle. He does it for a living. And 24/7 Sports have arms reaching out all over the nation. So whatever they say is usually pretty accurate. So I put a picture up a while ago. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a picture of Georgia and Oklahoma playing for the national championship.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not a bad.
Well, I'm just doing
not
it.
a bad picture.
I just did it to create, people think I'm crazy, and that'll get people talking. So,
it's not a bad prediction. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe I'm asking this, but I just want to make sure. Does Alabama and Georgia play in the regular season?
Well, let's just find out right here. How about we just click on this button right here? You're not watching.
Put the rest pretty quick.
No, I don't. They don't. I don't think they do because I looked at it a while ago. No, Georgia is going to start with Clemson. We're looking at it right now live. They got.
Oh God.
All they got is they open with Clemson, and they're going to have to play at Tennessee, and they're going to have to play at Auburn. And that's their only game. South Carolina's going to be at home. South Carolina's not going to be terrible, but Georgia should beat them. They got Kentucky at home on October the 16th, and then they play Florida Halloween night for the cocktail party. And then they'll finish out after Florida. They got Missouri, go to Tennessee, play Charleston Southern, then they're at Georgia Tech to finish the regular season. Georgia should win all those games by 10 points. I mean, at minimal.
I don't see. Well, the only one I see on the schedule beating them, unless somebody upsets them, of course, it would be Clemson,
Yeah, that's Clemson's only.
Golly. They got to win that one. But they can come back, bounce back if they were to lose it, but they need to win that one. I mean, you can't have two losses anymore. You lose that one, you can't lose another one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't lose another one.
You
don't want to tell your players after one game they can't lose another game.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Y'all are looking at it right now too. I mean, does it not look like everybody's picking them to win 10? I mean, who's going to beat them? I mean, Clemson may beat them. I don't think they will. I don't think Clemson's going to be that good this year. I'm really down on them.
You kind of get down on them a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. I'm just not sure about Ugalele. I don't know. He looks spotty, but he's still young, and he ain't sold me yet. I mean, what are they going to do? Go up to Tennessee and get beat? No. Who's Georgia going to?
Well, Georgia has I don't know. Florida lost a lot. Who else do they got on their schedule? I don't think any of them can beat them.
South Carolina at Vanderbilt, home against Arkansas, travel to Auburn October the 9th. Then they go to Kentucky. Then they're open before the Florida game.
I'm going to predict it. Kentucky could upset them in Arkansas. Maybe that's it.
I like Arkansas to play them close, and I like Clemson to play them good.
Georgia.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they will. And
it being at
they're both pretty good. So
at being at Auburn, I'm curious about that and see how that kind of turns out. Being at Auburn, I know it's Coach Moran's. It's his first year. They got all these new coordinators, and Auburn's got a new quarterback. Another quarterback, the kid from LSU, challenging Bo for his spot. So
is it Finley?
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't vote, so that could be.
They might not be. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had another one. I personally don't think I personally think that Nix will be a 4-year starter.
Yeah, I don't see him losing his starting spot from that guy. So, to say it's going to be at Auburn. So, Georgia at Auburn, October 9th, mark that one down. And I'm with you. I'll say October 2nd, that Arkansas game. It's at Georgia, though. So,
Yeah, that's the only thing. Maybe that's the only one on the. I don't think South Carolina will beat them. They'll be ready for that. Kentucky may play them well. Florida's lost a lot. But that's usually a good matchup. I ought to watch Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's supposed to be better.
Yeah, they've changed things up down there. They're a different kind of team.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You got now Pickens.
We got dog park while we're talking about Georgia. I don't know what's going on.
Who let the
down
dogs out? Who?
there. Yeah, man, these dogs are going crazy around here.
Pickens, you mentioned him earlier. As of about a week ago, he's still spotty. It says he's going to miss a few games. That's the report that I got from Dog Nation. So he may be back by the open date. So if he comes back by Halloween, if he misses those first 5 or 6 games, maybe he just misses the first game. I don't know. It's still up in there. There's no decision when Pickens will be back. I think offensively they're going to be good, Dean. They're going to be able to score the ball, depending on Daniels. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not. But we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, we disagree on that, but not in a bad way.
Yeah,
he just ain't sold on him.
Yeah.
I like him, but, I mean, he's only played 4 games.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
But same thing with Bryce Young. If you want to talk about Alabama, I just don't.
Yeah.
I've never really just oohed and, awed over him, watching him throw the ball around. I just, he don't look.
I think Oklahoma's going to be our preseason number 1.
They've got to be.
Possibly. I just don't see them. I know Alabama's got everybody back on defense, but they lost their 2 star receivers. They lost their running back, and they lost their quarterback. They may stick them right back at number 1, but I got a feeling they might not. It may be Oklahoma.
I don't see how they could put them at 1.
Yeah, not with what they lost. I know they got defense back, but and I don't think they'll stick Georgia number 1,
Yeah.
And Clemson losing Lawrence.
No, yeah.
I mean, as far as offense, having everybody back, yeah, Oklahoma, Rattler's a media sensation,
Oh,
So
yeah.
they might be number 1.
It's going to be theirs to lose. The way everybody's talking, but, I mean, talking's only good for, what we do. It ain't good for playing football. It's Georgia and Oklahoma's to lose. That's the way it feels when you look at it. But, I mean, look, man, somebody could get hurt. You could have an injury or something weird happen, and that's it. They blow one game, and that's the end of it. Oklahoma goes up and loses to Iowa State or something crazy, and Arkansas.
They usually do. That'll be a big game. That's going to be a huge game.
I agree. And then Georgia is going to play Arkansas at home, and Arkansas just unloads a can, and something happens, and Georgia fumbles the ball 3 times, and Arkansas gets an onside kick, and Arkansas wins a stupid football game. And, their season's in the trash now.
Oh, yeah, Georgia's had some bad luck. I keep saying they're going to win one at some point, but I don't know, Matt. I always say if Alabama can't win, I just assume Georgia win it, but
I agree.
that's usually not the way it works.
I agree. Yeah, because we got to beat them to play for it usually.
Yeah, so they don't really work that way, Alabama probably not going to have a real bad season, even on when they do bad, they lose. They go 10-2.
Yeah, it's terrible. Fire Saban. Fire that guy. We've lost 2 games, idiot. I can't believe this. Fire that guy. What are they doing?
2. They lost 3 one year, but then they finished out on a good note. But, 2 of them one of them was by a point, or 1 or 2 of them. Like Auburn beat them by a point, and LSU beat them. I think South Carolina beat them pretty good that year. But, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, I'd have to, if I was ranking them today, I'd have to put Oklahoma 1, maybe Alabama 2, Clemson 3, or Georgia 3. Clemson, Iowa State, you got to put them up there.
Yeah, they'd definitely be my number 5. I'd have Iowa State 5. I'd probably put I hate ranking them. I'm going to just rank them because of who the champ is.
Wish they'd rank them later.
I do too.
They do.
I mean, Bama's the champ, so they're number 1 until they lose a game. I'd probably put them 1, put Oklahoma 2, and I'd put Georgia at 3, and then put probably Ohio State or Clemson down there, and Iowa State.
Yeah. Ohio State, you got to consider them in this fight because they say this quarterback fixing to play for them is phenomenal.
Well, we can look at this top. I just laid it up there on the page, that little thing we always look at. Yeah, I mean, put Bama 1, and I'd have to put probably Oklahoma 2 because they finished 11.
I'm sorry, I was wrong on that. I said they probably won't rank Alabama 1. Yes, since they were the champions,
they probably will.
They probably will get they probably will be preseason number one.
But see,
maybe Oklahoma too.
Iowa State was 13, end of the year, and we're really high on them. We really think they're going to have a good year this year. We both.
Oh yeah, everybody back.
I mean, Northwestern finished 8th, but we found out, well, you did, they got nobody coming back. They're going to be terrible.
No, they lost a lot. Indiana has a lot coming back.
Yeah, Purdy, the quarterback, I really like him. I remember us doing some stuff on him on the show. I broke some stats on him one time. They're pretty good. Mm-hmm. And, of course, North Carolina. Yeah. Hey, Coach Mac Brown, he's not a slouch. He's a good coach. He's recruited well.
Without putting them in order, I will say top 10, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State. That's 4. Clemson, 5. Iowa State, Indiana, Northwestern. I don't know who the other 2 would be.
You could probably put Miami and A&M in there.
Yeah, maybe them 2. Michigan. I hear they're supposed to be pretty good.
I'm curious about Texas.
Oregon's supposed to be good.
North Carolina, they'd probably be in number.
North Carolina, that would be number 9. My bad. North Carolina 9 and maybe Oregon 10.
If Coastal Carolina has a lot of people back, you probably put them in 11. Just right outside. Yeah. I mean, I'm just I don't know who all they got coming back because that was some great football games. They played. What didn't they play BYU and?
Yeah, BYU had lost to.
Man.
Or did they beat? No, they lost to Liberty.
Yes, that was a good game. They played some good games. So.
Now I was a part of this, but me and my uncle wouldn't watch that. We were up here in Kentucky, and we wouldn't watch it, and watched Miami and Buffalo play.
Yeah.
And didn't flip it on there, and then I'm going on Facebook and look, and they said it's one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah, I was texting you. I was like, "Hey, man, you better turn it over there.
Yeah, flip it over.
This is good, man."
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've done that more than once. So we left the 7A championship that time.
Yes, well, I was starving to death. We couldn't. I mean, we was about look, guys. We were in Atlanta. We went and watched Trevor Lawrence play the state game. This is what we did. And we watched another game before. It was a good game. Well, Trevor and him comes in there and plays. It's like 30-0 at halftime, and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He was like 8 for 20 at halftime. I was like, I thought this guy was good. You lied to me, Dean. They just kept running the ball, and they played defense. Well, after the game's over, we hadn't eaten before we come to the game. Well, like 4 hours went by. We're starving, and a hot dog is $8 or something. And I'm like, I'm so stingy, and Todd's worse than I am. We're not paying $8 for a hot dog. So we left, and the last game played in the Dome there is like the greatest game ever played in Georgia State football history, and we missed it because we was hungry and greedy.
He was. We missed it. It was Roswell and Grayson, I think.
Grayson, yeah.
It was, and Lawrence went 54-2 in his career, and the 2 worst games he ever had. Now, I don't know if I ever told you this. The 2 worst games he ever had stat-wise were that game and one other.
Yeah, he just wasn't on that night, but that was a good game. Yeah. But while we can move on from college football. Let's mention this about coaches of college football. I put up that art, the list about the top coaches in college football, and that got it made a lot of conversation. And so I like bringing up on the show. And of course, they had Saban, Sweeney, Riley, Smart, and Fisher. That was the top 5. How do you like that list? I mean, that's.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I do agree with Fisher, for sure. And who were the other 5?
Well, some other mentions. You had Mullins, and you had Ryan Day, you had Kelly from Notre Dame, and then Matt Campbell from Iowa State. Some other mentionables in there, so we had to mention them.
I agree with top 5. I mean, you got to put Sweeney and Saban in there. And I guess you have to put Riley in there. And, I don't mind Fisher and Smart being a part of that. I mean, they're all – well, Fisher's won one at Florida State, and he's done well at A&M, I don't know who else you could put in there. You can't put Harbaugh in there. You can't put Tom Herman or Cristobal. Maybe Cristobal later on might get in there. But, Oregon's not bad. But I don't think they're as good as they were when Chip Kelly was there, do you?
Well, let's make an example here. How about, say, something like if you got a team that's not really good, Dane, we'll just use a team, for example, like Iowa State, Coach Campbell. He don't recruit a lot of 5-star athletes, so for him to put a pretty good record together, I think that says more for his coaching ability than it does for Saban to be able to go out there and win for what he has. Student for student, athlete for athlete, Alabama is way superior than Iowa State. Everybody would agree to that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to create a little controversy and get everybody fired up again with something else crazy. You
want to say Campbell's the best coach in the country?
No, absolutely not. But it is interesting to think about it that way, that with less talent, Coach Beckett, when he came on called in last week, he said he was more impressed with the sisters from Spring Garden. He says, sometimes, one of them stayed there and coached center, and the other one went on to, where was it, White Plains?
Yeah, I think so.
White Plains had won like no games the year before. So for them to win like 8 or 10 was just fantastic.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, so that improvement, I guess that's a good assessment. You could say that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's respectable for the guy at Iowa State to, or I don't want to say Ohio State, maybe even Notre Dame, maybe, because he's a decent coach, and they don't get a whole lot of recruits because people don't want to go up there and freeze in Indiana to play at Notre Dame. So
no, they don't get like they used to anyway.
Well, them making it to the playoffs last year, that's not bad. I mean, they didn't show up and play well, but
they wasn't that bad. Yeah, I was fixing to say that. I knew you wasn't going to, but if you were to say Campbell's better than Saban, we might not have a show no more.
No, I wouldn't go that. But I think we could appreciate his
efforts great. Yes.
Because he's working with less and he's doing pretty good. And we'll say this, and then we'll move on. What about this? What if Saban went to Iowa State and they just swapped roles? They kept the same assistants, and they just swapped positions. It'd take a year or two for Saban to maybe make his changes and adapt some things, but for what he's got there on campus, he may win a game that he's not supposed to. Can I say that?
Right.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'd go with that.
I mean, I don't think Saban's going to go up there. If the guy wins 8 games, Saban's not going to Iowa State and they're going to win the national championship.
No.
Okay. No. That's not going to happen.
He's good, but I don't know if he's that good.
We have to remember that we did lose to Louisiana Tech.
Right, his first year.
Yeah, the Raging Cajuns. These guys right here behind me on this little. It's just a sign I picked up at a store just to cover the wall. It's not like I'm a big fan of them, but anyway.
Well, we got. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You got to be a realist. Saban's not going to Rutgers. Nothing against Rutgers and win a national championship next year.
So
or Louisville or Kentucky or anywhere.
So when we make these lists, we got to be realistic when you make that list. Sure, Saban and Sweeney's going to be mentioned up there for that, but what if Dabo Swinney goes to, let's say, put him in a pretty decent school, put him at A&M, and see, do they go win the title, next season? No, probably not.
No.
Okay, so.
I just think they're in the perfect place, and they're good recruiters.
Yeah.
You give them time, and they might have the programs turned around to where they're top 5 every year.
Well, so before we get off tonight, we'll recap. We talked about Coach K winning over 1,000 games. He's going to finish out the year. We mentioned D-Day when much appreciative of all the veterans out there. My grandfather and Todd's and all them were. Bama girls in softball. They're delayed right now. They're playing Florida State. Congratulations, Zach Pirine. Julio's going to the Titans for a second-round pick to Atlanta next year. The USFL, Fox is going to pick up for spring, guys. We don't know how that's going to work out. Is Georgia Bulldogs ready? Has Kirby got the dogs ready? I think it's theirs to lose. I don't know why they shouldn't lose. Todd agrees. He thinks they should definitely win 10 or 11 games. Ain't no reason for them to lose half that schedule.
I would think maybe 10-2 at worst.
Man, they can't lose. I wouldn't even shoot. I mean, who's going to beat them if they slip up somewhere? So, and we talked about our top 5 coaches who we kind of like, and we broke down some of Georgia's returners, kind of kids that are coming back. Hey, what about, did you see some stuff about Mac Jones that Belichick had?
I have not heard that much about Mac Jones in these early off-season stuff.
Yeah, he made a comment in an interview that Mac's doing good as expected, and Cam's hurt. Something's happened to him. I don't know if he hurt his arm.
Yeah, I did read where he was hurt.
So, I don't know. LeBron's...
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing Cam have a good year. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to or not. His days may may be numbered.
I don't think
who knows?
I don't think he's a football player anymore. I think he's just out there modeling clothes and chewing gum and looking up at the sky with a towel on his head. Super.
Well, he actually made an admission that he'd overdid it on the clothes. So I'm thinking maybe he's got his mind in the right direction now. Said he spent over $1 million
Well,
on clothes.
it's sad because he's one of the greatest athletes to play college football. I mean, of all time, he was a great college athlete, and just to see him walk around chewing gum, looking up at the clouds, it's just disappointing.
Hey, I know this isn't. We never talk about golf, but I guess I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
But John Rahm. Okay, first off, let me say whoever won the tournament this weekend finished 13 under for 4 days. Well, this guy named John Rahm was 18 under after 3 days and had to withdraw, and I think it might have been over COVID related.
Yeah.
So he had a 6-stroke lead, and he didn't win the tournament. I mean, they just talked to the guy that won it, and he's like, I'm happy I won it, but we all know,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have won this had he not withdrawn. Or they withdrew him. Now, if it's COVID or not, I just heard this story about an hour ago. I don't know, but he was withdrawn yesterday with a huge lead, and he didn't win. And he didn't win the tournament.
All right, what about we'll mention the Lakers. We don't really cover a lot of NBA, but we're just filling a little space right now. Of course, it is LeBron James is the biggest name in sports. Probably LeBron goes out, Lakers lose, and they're going to move on. What do y'all think about next year? Do you think AD's going to be back? Are they going to be able to keep these guys together? What's
I
Lakers?
don't know what's going on there. And you know how much we like Bo Starkey.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to challenge him in any way, but he posted something.
Yeah,
He's not the only one. That LeBron was no comparison to LeBron. So
Yeah.
you still have, my point is that you still have, LeBron's still got a lot of support.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with that, but I mean, that's fine. Me and Bo can disagree.
Yeah. Well, the thing.
That's the thing about us. We can disagree and we're not going to fight about it.
No, gosh, no. I know what he's
I mean,
saying.
you don't agree on everything.
I know what he's saying, and I think some of it is just like I did with the Oklahoma Georgia thing. Bo, if you're watching, we love you, and I'll probably hope to see you in the morning. Hope things work out where he's supposed to come up. We're gonna hit the gym in the morning. It's to create it's to create conversation. But what Bo is saying, we'll talk about LeBron for a second. What he is saying is not incorrect. Those numbers are true. He is the first or second in a lot of those stats.
Yeah,
True.
He played in so many games. Yeah.
Right. He's taking care of himself. He's very healthy. Period. He is probably, if he's first in a lot of those
I
stats.
think he's the best long-term player in NBA history, right?
Yes. I mean, he's going to go down as both saying he's the greatest playoff player. I couldn't disagree with that because the numbers are true. However, he's not saying that he's the greatest ever. And I went through some of the comments, and it's just all friends, and we're all just having fun jabbing each other.
Yeah.
We all know how Michael dominated the game, and he knows that Michael played in 6 finals and won all 6. He knows that. He knows he never played in a Game 7. He knows that he played with a mediocre team of a bunch of white boys, or B.J. Armstrong. He had Rodman for a few years, and he had Scotty. And Scotty was his sidekick. And Scottie Pippen was a fantastic defender. Nobody wants to talk about that. So what he's saying is not wrong, but it's just because a lot of people don't like what LeBron says off the court. They don't care for him. And things that he does on the court, when he walks off the court after the game without shaking hands, it's just been a bad sport. But people's been doing that forever, man. The Pistons did it to the Bulls. Bird and them done it back in the day, the Lakers. I mean, that's not a big – I don't care. I mean, I didn't raise mine to do that when I coached him ball, but it's –
Well, LeBron, he's still obviously good. I mean, he's going to get you 20 points, 10 rebounds, a lot of assists. But I don't know that he can lead a team to a championship without another superstar there anymore.
There's not – that's the thing. That's my point. He facilitates the ball better than anybody. I've watched him play for years. He has court vision unlike anybody. I mean, he's like Part Magic Johnson with Akeem Olajuwon body nearly. Or, you know what I mean? Like, he's big and he can pass. He's not very selfish with the ball. Sometimes he's almost too unselfish. He wants to give the ball away too much sometimes and that's just, he's not my style to call him the greatest. He's good, but
yeah.
And will they be able to run it back next year? I don't know.
I'm not going to knock him because I think he had a good series. I'm not going to knock him because they lost. Phoenix is good.
Well, yeah, they are good.
For one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it ain't like LeBron just laid an egg, so
it's the
I
stuff.
don't think that's necessarily right. We never did say he was the greatest. But to go and say, well, they lost in the first round, forget him. He ain't the greatest. Yeah, I don't base it off this.
No, I've never thought he was the greatest. He's not the greatest ever.
No,
He's a good player.
I could come back now and be convinced that he wasn't anymore because of this series.
Yeah, I'm just not. We're just different age. I guess some people like him more. Most people our age, between ages 35 and plus, watch Michael play for the most part. Or if you're 40 or better, you watch Michael play. And I've never seen anybody else play like him. Magic and Bird, and those guys, Shaq and Kobe. Those are my top guys. I watched them play. I even like Penny Hardaway and those guys. I remember watching them play. I think they're great too. Jerry Stackhouse, they were all great. I mean, names go on and on. But he just went out. But injuries kind of got a hold of him. LeBron hurt his ankle early. Yeah. AD goes out injured. Well, they're not gonna. They're not gonna win it without them. They ain't gonna win.
I'm really not anti-LeBron. I mean, I think he's good because. I was kind of pulling for Phoenix because their best player played at Kentucky. And I know it's a couple of times I get aggravated because I got to look at the box score. And Los Angeles beat them, and LeBron helped beat them. I'm like, dang, does this guy ever go away? So he's obviously good. If he makes you mad as a fan because he's beating the team you're pulling for, that means he's probably good. I used to get aggravated with Jordan, too. I was like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. I got to where I wanted them to lose.
He would take games over and just win, and that was the thing with and the difference in some of the LeBron stuff. Like when they got behind the other night, they went on a run there for a minute when they was going to catch back up, and he's not having any energy in his passes. He's just kind of nonchalant. He's just kind of walking around, man, we suck. This suck. And you just don't, as a fan, a lot of fans just don't appreciate that. Especially if you come and paid your hard-earned money to watch the guy play. Michael always felt like you play your best all the time because some guy up there in the seats worked 50 hours this week and used his whole paycheck to come see you play. And you shouldn't act that way. But, and it's not just LeBron. Now, I'm not just putting the finger on him because they all act. I mean, a lot of the generation acts that way. And that's not, it's not just picking on him. I'm not singling him out.
I saw where the Clippers advanced today. They got pushed to the limit.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know who's going to win this. I don't have a clue who will win the NBA.
I don't know.
Philadelphia. And I don't know. They're good, I think, Philadelphia.
Well, let me ask you this. We'll move back to the NFL for just a second, and we'll get off here and let everybody go watch the fight that we'll talk about. Drew Brees' replacement. Who's going to replace Drew? Is it going to be Winston, or are they going to put Hill in there?
Oh, it's going to be Hill. I don't think no doubt about that.
Really?
It is going to be for a while unless he just screws it up, which I mean, hey, heck, I'm excited about him being the quarterback because I've heard so much. And he's going to put up some stats. I mean, according to the experts, he's going to put up some numbers,
We'll see how that works out. I'm kind of curious about that, and that's kind of about it. I got something funny here if you want to. This is kind of funny. I'm going to share this before we get off here. Ray Caldwell was a pitcher for the Indians in the 1920 World Series. He was hit by lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah. Well, he finished the game. That's a good
excuse to get out.
I know. So, and all this culture that we live in now, guys, hey.
That makes it too tough, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so this guy gets hit by lightning to finish the game. We're going to let the sponsors run us out now. And, Dean, you have a safe trip, and I'll see you.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night. And I'll see you the next day or two.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, guys. Do not forget now, June the 12th, this coming Saturday at Easy Street at 2 o'clock. It's going to be the first annual ever Media Days. We're going to be getting all the local coaches together, and we're looking forward to that. And I'll see some of you guys out at the schools this week. And Todd's going to come along when he can. And we're ready, Dean. You ready for Saturday?
Yeah, I am. I'm ready.
All right, guys.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
We'll cut it loose. Y'all keep your heads clear.
Okay, buddy.
Keep your heart full of God.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See you, Dean.
Okay.
All right. Glad we got Dean to get the call in here, man. And again, y'all, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We thank all our sponsors, Kevin's Lawn Landscaping, and of course Scott Lloyd's Legal Service, and Warrior Gym. Appreciate Jonathan and Kim and JR and April McKenzie, Turkey Eye Clinic. We appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great day. God bless you. Keep your heads clear and keep your hearts full of God. Peace out.